Did you know that 33% of all accidents happen when you're just minutes away from your house?
Like we've been minutes away from your house for the last hour!
Let's begin! Heavy Fire Red Shadow is a 360-degree wave shooter. You are in control of a machine gun and a missile launcher. If you are not playing on a swivel chair, you will want to go into the options and make the camera follow the rotation of the machine gun. Otherwise, you will have to physically look all around you. This fixed camera may cause motion sickness for some, but it was never an issue during my playthrough. If you do get motion sick, at least you can still play, as the game does come with a non-VR mode. You control the rotation of the mounted gun and missile launcher at the same time by using the left analog stick. You then aim with the right analog stick. This is the only way to play, as the DualShock controller is the only supported controller type. Your aiming reticle has important information displayed around it. A green bar shows you whereabouts an enemy is, and if it turns red, it means you need to deal with them immediately, because you are starting to take damage from them. Green arrows are also displayed just above an enemy's actual head. You will find yourself looking for these quite a bit, as it is hard to see the body of an enemy that is far off in the distance, thanks to them blending in with the blurry backgrounds. Most of the time, the enemies are close enough that you can see their bodies though. It's quite intense when you hear a screaming kamikaze enemy running straight up to your nest, with their depth in the world constantly increasing. If they do get close enough, they will explode. 4 times I did encounter some enemies who had got stuck behind something, which did break the flow of the action. I only had to restart the level once because of this. The other times, the game eventually realised it had broke and removed who was remaining, which allowed me to start the next wave. Luckily, there are 3 checkpoints in each stage, so I didn't lose too much progress. Enemies come from both land and sea. Vehicles do need to be dealt with quickly, as they will continue to drop off enemies. Your missiles are best suited for removing them. The explosions are not some of the best I've seen in VR, but it's a bit forgivable as so much is going on at once. Visually they are still enjoyable though, as parts of the wreckage flies off. You can also take down some vehicles by shooting the driver. This causes the vehicle to spin out of control, and when it collides with something, it explodes. This is incredibly satisfying, as it visually looks great to see it swerve everywhere, and from a gameplay side, you haven't had to use up one of your precious missiles. Eliminating enemies gradually fills up your support bar. The more your bar has filled up, the more powerful support you can call in. You can call in supply drops, which sends out an aircraft that drops off health and missile ammo. When this happens, it truly sounds like something massive is roaring through the sky just above you. The sound really is incredible in this game, and I simply had to have my headphones turned up on full volume. You don't decide if you want health or missiles from a supply drop, but on the plus side, the crates do stay on the battlefield until you decide to pick them up. The other support types you can call in are ground troops, who defend your turret just in front of you, an artillery strike, which unfortunately doesn't have the best looking explosions, jet fighters that obliterate the battlefield, and the final one is an attack helicopter that hangs around the area for a short period of time. The game also has quite a large upgrade system. Every tool you have at your disposal can be upgraded. Most of them can be unlocked in any order, as long as you have enough ability points to spend. These points are obtained when you get promoted. You can get promoted quicker by doing the side missions that pop up during a stage. These side missions are all on a short time limit and include tasks such as eliminating a certain amount of enemies, killing a certain type of enemy, or achieving a certain amount of headshots. Getting headshots doesn't feel that rewarding, as your aiming reticle is quite large compared to the enemy's head. Achieving a headshot feels more like luck rather than precise aiming. It wasn't long until I started not caring about the side missions, because without even looking at their objective, I was completing enough to be promoted at a steady pace to upgrade my abilities. The problem with the abilities is that you become overpowered very quickly. On the third stage, I unlocked the upgrade that gave me health each time I killed an enemy, which removed the game's difficulty. It was then a breeze to get through the levels, and I didn't die once, until the second to last stage. I didn't really even need to use the support units, other than the supply drop to replenish health and missiles. The upgrade system is quite unbalanced. There are 8 missions in the campaign, which took me 3 hours to beat. Although there is 8 missions, there is really only 4 maps in total. These 4 maps are used again, but in a nighttime setting. Unfortunately, these different times of the day are used back to back, so you will be playing an environment in the daytime and then at night time. It would have been nice to have had them mixed around a bit. Some of these maps look a lot better than others. The waves in the sea on the beach nighttime mission almost look like a TV that has synced up poorly, due to jagged lines moving up and down. Graphically, the harbour and seaside missions look the best, thanks to buildings that surround you. It certainly gives the area more depth. The final 2 missions are the most fun. The destruction is really incredible. Signs, parked cars, and building walls explode or crumble, and the game's difficulty returns. I just wish all the other missions had this amount of polish and attention to detail. The game also comes with an endless mode. It's basically the same as the campaign missions, except they continue forever. Your upgrades do carry over, and your scores are saved. You're not really aiming towards anything in this mode though, apart from your own score, as there are no score related trophies. A few of the trophies will be unlocked for beating each of the game's missions, in both the daytime and nighttime. You must also call in the support units a certain amount of times, fire a lot of missiles, get a lot of headshots, and upgrade all your abilities. Not all of these unlocked for me after beating the main campaign, but picking them up again in the endless mode shouldn't be too much of a problem. Having no score related trophies in a wave shooter really does make this a poor list overall. Overall, I did enjoy my time with the game, even though a big percent of it was just mindless shooting, which is a shame with such a large unlockable system. It is also missing major elements that other games of this genre have. The lack of save scoreboards in the campaign greatly removes any replayability for this mode, but then again, the endless mode is basically the same, so you can keep a record of some scores. Be warned, if you are planning on getting the game from the PlayStation Store, you will need to buy the VR add-on, which is an extra $10. I really hope we don't see these add-ons become a trend, as playing in VR should be seen as an added bonus, rather than being locked behind another paywall. It's understandable if a lot of extra work has gone into the VR element, but a different fixed camera to a rotating turret, a new HUD, makes an extra $10 seem a bit pricey. If you do plan on playing in the non-VR mode, then just know that headshots are easier to perform and the graphics have a very noticeable increase. Most of the time, I was greatly immersed in the game, due to the sheer number of enemies I had to deal with and the absolutely fantastic sound design. The sound really is incredible, and it is truly one of the best parts of the game. It does feel like you're right there in the middle of a battle. These action moments are dulled down a bit though, due to not being able to see enemies that are far off in the distance, and ultimately having to rely on a green arrow above their head when aiming.
We can count on you, Scooby-Doo. I know we'll catch that villain.
Not done yet, Sergeant!
If you want to try Heavy Fire Red Shadow out for yourself, there is a demo available to download right now from the US PlayStation Store. If this review helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more PlayStation VR content.